Hello and welcome to the channel, and welcome back if you're a subscriber, and welcome back if you're a non-subscriber but have checked out my videos. Thank you very much. I appreciate every one of you guys. Let me just refresh my throat here. So what you have in front of you is The Strangers, brought to you by the Ultraverse, which is part of, or was part of, Malibu Comics. For those who know and those who don't remember or don't know, Image Comics was originally published via Malibu Comics. The first few months, the first few issues that came out from Image, Youngblood, Spawn, Wildcats, those first generation comics for the first few releases were published through Malibu. If you look and you open the inside cover, you'll see the Malibu logo. And then quickly once all of those titles became instant million issue sellers, they said bye-bye to Malibu and fully became independent shortly thereafter. So Malibu was left without a cash cow, and in response to that, they put out their Ultraverse, and they put out their own, what they call the Ultraverse, which is their own new independent superhero company, right? Superheroes publishing company, which involved these guys, the Strangers, and we're gonna see a few more of those featured in future videos. I've already got a few picked out, and so yeah, let's dive into the Strangers. This has an old school vibe. Old school, when I say old school for this time, it's like 80s comics, an old school 80s vibe. A lot of bright, colorful costumes. Not a lot of more spandex, less armor. Right, that's what I mean by old school. And here you see for the rollout what Malibu / Ultraverse was doing. If you put out a comic, or you were an independent publisher, or just any company doing anything, you had to put out trading cards as well. If you couldn't put out a toy line, you had to release trading cards. So through Skybox, Malibu put out the Ultraverse series of trading cards, so you can get to know the characters. A lot of the when I started in comics, Marvel Universe was released. The trading card set. When I started, they were in the third series. So a lot of the my basic knowledge of a lot of characters came from those trading cards, because in the back, you had some stats and whatnot, and a brief bio, of the characters. So they were a quick way to get up to speed on a lot of things happening in comics. So here Skybox was doing the same thing. Malibu was doing the same thing for, so that you can get up to speed and get to know who all of these characters are. So I don't know who this guy was. I don't think I got his book. This is Prime, Mantra, and then I don't know. I think this guy is featured here, right? and then this swamp thingy, Hulk thing, whatever. I vaguely remember what's going on in this story. Not fully. I didn't really. I didn't really. I didn't really keep up with a lot of these books. I bought a few of the first number ones, but that's about it. And now that I'm looking at this face right here, we're at what? Yeah, we're in September of 2021, right? If you know who the comedian Nicole Arbor is, that's pretty much her. And she's known mostly for like being, she put out her famous "Dear Fat People" video. So this, and I'm just looking at this right now, and I'm like, this looks just like her. So shout out Nicole Arbor. So here we have a nice establishing shot. Okay, first the credits, right? So Steve Englehart is the author, right? He's not just the writer or story or plotter. No, he's the author. And Rick Hoberg, penciler. Tim Bugard, inker. Tim Eldred, letters. Chris Slim, editor. Paul Mounts, color design. I believe Paul Mounts used to do a lot of stuff for Marvel. And speaking of Marvel, for those who, again, might remember, don't remember, or forgot, Malibu Comics / Ultraverse was bought by Marvel Comics, supposedly because of their coloring house. But I think there were ulterior motives to that. And you can do some digging on the internet for that. But anyway, there's a really nice establishing shot. This almost reminds me like a lot of like something Brian Hitch would do. Very detailed, backgrounds, foregrounds, a lot of characters. And even the smaller characters here are really nicely, drawn. You can see distinct features, right? This guy kind of looks like, what's his, Grunwald. It was an editor at Marvel who passed away around this time. He created the, not the Suicide Squad, was the Squadron Supreme. If somebody knows the guy, Grunwald. Anyway, this is a nice opening page. We're getting to meet a lot of characters here that are going to be the basis for this series. Everybody's hopping on to the trolley. That's what they call this, right? Trolley? I don't know. I mean, I know it's a trolley, but I think it has a different name. They call it something in San Francisco. I don't know. So yeah, we're meeting a bunch of people in this 2-page spread. This guy's rather pulling her hair passionately. Although look at all of that detail on the hair, as far as when he pulls her hair, all those little strands there. Really cool. I don't really remember this guy doing anything else. Tim Burgard? Oh, no, that's the inker. Rick Hoberg. The name doesn't ring with me right now as far as doing something in comics, because the artwork looks pretty cool. You got some street toughs throwing this guy off the trolley. and then bam, they're hit with some kind of energy force. Everyone that's in the trolley, no, we'll find out in the future what happens to a lot of these people. But anyway, the trolley gets derailed, crashes into a let me see if I can identify this car. A Miata? I think it's a Miata. They don't really look that concerned, these people, for some reason. But anyway, everybody's safe. They get off the trolley. This guy cut his wrist. And then, this chick, Candy, get over here, girl. You hear me? What are you looking at? Hey. You can run from me, you bimbo. So apparently what this chick was like a hooker. Why was she wearing lingerie? Was she like a flasher? Anyway, she gets away from the guy. Somebody got in something stuck up in their head, so he's dead. And then here we got some promos for the other titles from the Ultraverse. The Freaks with a double E. Mantra, so this is Mantra, and I don't know who else these guys are. Hey, Terry Dodson. I forgot Terry Dodson started, or not started, but did work for these guys. So what I'm seeing here is, like I said, it reminds me a lot of like an 80s comic. This is pretty much something that I look at and I say, oh, it's very much influenced by like George Perez, right? A lot of information in each panel, right? He's not skipping anything detail-wise. He's filling out the entire space inside the panel. Everything is drawn very solidly. Decent, facial expressions and whatnot, but he's cramming in a lot of stuff. Let's just go back a little bit. He's cramming in a lot of stuff in each panel, right? So you can tell the guy is putting in the effort. And then this guy here, I don't know, he's exploding from the inside, bursting out energy. And this is an example of when I always say the 80s style, the old school style, the more basic style of storytelling, something akin to like what we saw with Valiant, all of the Valiant issues that we've looked at, which is just the Deathmate stuff. The artwork is trying to be modern, but at the same time very traditional. So if you compare this to, well, just because I have it handy and I just recorded again a little behind the scenes stuff. I record a bunch of these videos back to back. So I just finished doing the Weapon Zero video. So here's what I meant in that video. Remember when I said this is like the typical image style of a page, and compare this to this, right? And you could see like where something like this could have been done like this, right? Really large, figure breaking all kinds of panels and all of that, Instead, it's how do I? Oh, there's that page. a lot of it's all contained, subdued, constrained inside of the panel, when easily this could have been either smaller or longer, right, to contain the dialogue, and have this guy break the panel with his head, his legs. I mean, this is technically not bad, uh, although, again, rules, pretty much some of the unwritten rules is don't cut off at the joints. So he did cut off the foot here at the ankle, right? So you could have pushed this a little more to the right, and then you're missing. I mean, this is like a cool opportunity to have showcased this guy's powers, uh, you know, in a more impactful way. Instead, it's all just, constrained, hiding behind these panels, behind these over here. So, it's a balance. It's not badly drawn, but it could have been better, right? So here we got some guy who turns into a flaming green Human Torch type character. I don't know what's going on. A lot of stuff is happening real quick. Why? Because they want to introduce to you all of these characters right off the bat. So they're showing you their powers manifesting, almost immediately after the incident on the trolley. So they mid-page they skip from one story into another, right? For this kid who eventually becomes super fast, like the Flash, right? So he gets super speed, and then immediately in this last panel we skip to the redhead in the lingerie, right? Candy. So then she is like zoned out or something, and then for some reason cuts herself on these what do they call these gate things protecting the tree, right? And then hey, I remember you and all of that. What's going on? I hurt my arm, and then when you come to find out, she's got like robot parts underneath. So what is she, like a cyborg or something? Or is the thing turning her into a robot? I don't know. And then here we have a promo for the Ultraverse number 0 issue cover by Jim Lee. This is probably the best these characters ever looked. And as I was mentioning when I spoke on the Weapon Zero thing, numbering of the issue, T-4. Again, this is a lot of the stuff that was going on in comics back then. You got your 0 issue here for the Ultraverse, right? Of course, it was a mail away. You had to get your own copy of the number 1 Zero Ultraverse 0, featuring art by Jim Lee. Redeem all 5 coupons. This is something that Image did as well. You had to redeem some coupons that were inserted in various issues. There's the coupon. I never sent any out. But yeah, it's just stuff that Wizard 23. I have that. I probably had all of these. Never sent it out. Hard case. I believe hard case is. No, that's not hard case. Forget it. Anyway, and let's move on. So here we have an elderly man and his nurse. The nurse is, I believe she's not feeling well. But again, a lot of this reminds me of like um, Brian Hitch. Although Brian Hitch is still a little more realistic because of his use of certain he would draw and give his characters specific faces relating to real life people, right? But overall, the style does remind me a lot of Brian Hitch. So here we have this girl who reminds me of Storm, but also reminds me of Voodoo. Voodoo from Wildcats. So she's got some sort of magical powers as well. And then, I don't know, she's fighting off some street hoods who are up to no good. Then we get the kid here, who's like the Flash. And then we have this chick over here who's doing nothing. She's speaking in some weird language. And then she goes into action here. Or she's being swung. I don't know. And then this guy generates these sort of bubbles. So apparently the chick is a bad guy? No. I think they just all, typical superheroes, when they first meet, they fight each other. Right? Because they don't know each other. So as the fighting is going on, eventually they find out. There we go. Eventually everyone figures out, oh, we're all on the same side. So a lot of this stuff, like I said, is the guys at Ultraverse doing what they can to speed up the plot so you can get to know a bunch of these characters in a hurry. So you can see here Candy, I remember her name. Now she's like crying silver tears. And then she ejects her powers. She still hasn't changed from the lingerie that she was wearing. And then this Voodoo Storm mishmash is being subdued. And then she flies away. So I guess she is the bad guy. Again, I didn't read past this issue. But yeah, the artwork is pretty solid. It's not confusing. It's not badly drawn. Everything is in perspective. Everything is drawn. The faces are drawn solidly. Everyone has a distinct look, right? Everyone has their own look to them. Although this chick's only just in tomboy. Okay. But yeah, she's just, in lingerie. But they're all figuring out, who are you? What's going on? Were you on the trolley? What happened to us? What's going on? Well, let's get together and let's figure out what's going on. Right. So yeah, the stuff that Ultraverse was doing, is quickly roll out a bunch of titles to compete with Image and the other guys. They didn't really accomplish that. I mean, the Ultraverse was around for a while. It did hang on for like, I want to say 3 or so years. longer than most independent publishers that rose around the time. A lot of companies were trying to compete or repeat the success of Image, and not many, survived. Some of them popped up really quick and just as quickly disappeared. When did this come out? June. Yeah, here we go. This came out on June of 1993. So this is pretty much Hero Illustrated. For those who don't know, was a competition to Wizard magazine. Wizard was the magazine for comic book news, straight up superhero news. There was the the Comics Journal. Was a little more serious, but yeah, Hero was cool for a while as well. But yeah, in response to the Image guys leaving, Malibu quickly put out, about less than a year later, right, their own superhero universe. So I think this is a I want to say how many pages are in this thing. 26, 27. No, so it's a pretty full single issue, 32 pages, most of them of story, not a lot of ads. A lot of story crammed in this one issue. Probably could have saved some more, because again, they were trying to introduce a bunch of characters at once. And maybe would have pasted out a little more. Maybe featured, what was going on with one or two characters at most, right? Flesh them out more, and that would have probably got me to come back later and continue reading up on these guys. But yeah, it's and again, I'm gonna show some other Ultraverse stuff in the future. But yeah, all in all, all of that was pretty solid, and yeah, it's a fun looking back. But again, these characters are now part of Marvel, and they only made one appearance in the Marvel universe as part of a crossover. Once Marvel, bought Malibu and conversely the Ultraverse. And they made like a one crossover, and that's about it. In the late 90s, 97, around that time. But yeah, it's a fun issue. You look at it, like I said, very colorful, and very, very like old school type of comics. Fun, not too edgy, not too dark. Sometimes, very simple. Nothing too complex. Something happened, boom, right? Something happened to all of these guys. Later on, we find out what happens. I never figure out what the blast was. But anyway, it's a cool thing. It's a cool encapsulation of that time frame. So yeah, I'll just leave it there. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't, but hopefully you don't thumbs down, thumb up. And I'll be seeing you on the next one. Peace.